live.
All right, we're live. Yes. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Northwest. Wait, what was that? It did something.
It did something.
Let's try again. Are we still live?
We're still.
I need a monitor. So far away. Come here, monitor. Whatever. Welcome to another episode of the Northwest Brewmeisters. My name's Jamey.
I am Steve.
We are just a couple of guys from the Pacific Northwest who like beer.
I think you should too.
And it is going to be a great episode today, filled with controversy and deep, dark topics. And yeah, like pineapple on pizza, man. We could fight for hours on that one. All right, no controversy. All right, but seriously, so I am going to set up, because our production team sucks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share things out and stuff. And meanwhile, Steve is gonna tell us about his beer, which is brand new, so exciting, venturing off into new worlds that we have never tried before. Right, go.
So I am making an IPA this time around. What makes this one different is this is going to be my own recipe, and instead of someone else's. Obviously, every IPA I've made in the past, if you've watched previous videos, I just I use someone's recipe or their kit, which is fine. It was definitely a good way to learn how to make IPAs. But this time, I devised my own recipe. I used the Charlie Pazian book as a baseline to fill in my my grains. And so today's IPA, which is unnamed because we'll see what it tastes like, and then that's how I'll name it. Today's IPA is going to be made with a pound of Crystal 20, a pound of choking up here, a pound of Crystal 20 and a half pound of biscuit.
There's a lot of pressure.
I know, right? So much pressure. Half pound of biscuit on my steeping grain, so it's pretty basic. I almost feel like I'm using too much, but we'll see what happens in the end. It's part of learning. I probably could have got away with maybe a half pound of Crystal 20 and a quarter pound of biscuit, but it's all right. My fermentables are 1 pound of Briess Pilsen Light dry malt and 2 3.3 pound cans of Briess Pilsen Light light extract, malt extract. Reason being is I wanted to keep it around 7.5 pounds of fermentable. I'm not trying to make a super high octane beer. In the end, I'm aiming for maybe about 6.5% ABV. So we'll see how it comes out. Hops wise, I guess I don't remember everything that's on my hop schedule. Let me grab it. You're on your own for a minute, Jamey.
Jamey alone. Kind of early in the broadcast.
I know, right? So I'm going to do kind of a heavy hop schedule. I want it to be hoppy, but I don't want it to be so hoppy that you kind of go after you take a drink. So my bittering hops, I'm going to use 2 ounces of, where'd you go? I'm going to use 2 ounces of Chinook. These are alpha acid at 13.8%, so this will definitely get rid of the sweetness in there. That'll go into the 60-minute mark. At about 35 or 40 minutes, I'm not sure quite where I want to throw it in. I will mark it down, obviously, as I do this. I'm going to add in 1 ounce of Centennial. And then again, at about the 25-minute remaining mark, I'll add another ounce of Centennial. And then my finishing hops are going to be probably either 1 or 2 ounces of East Kent Golden. I have not quite made my mind up on that one yet as a finishing hop. And that should, in the end, it should give it a nice hoppy flavor, good hop aroma, and kind of a crispness to it because my yeast is I should have wrote this down, the Y yeast 1028.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, what?
Wait.
How much yeast are you using?
2 pounds.
Okay.
I think it's 1028. The Thames Valley.
All right. Well, that's what I'm using is 1028.
No, then I'm not using 1028. Then
You're
yours
not
is
using
different.
the same as me?
Yours is London, mine's Thames Valley, so my number might be wrong.
Okay. Well, I know for a fact I'm using 1028. That much I know. And I'm alone again. I'm so lonesome I could cry.
Okay, so sorry about that, folks. I'm using Y yeast 1275. That was way off, which is the Thames Valley, and that should give the beer kind of a crispness to it. I believe the attenuation is over 75%.
Okay.
So yeah.
Attenuation or flocculation? Probably
Did I
flocculation.
say that? I might use the wrong word.
So attenuation is so a highly attenuated beer. The yeast ate a lot of the sugar. It's usually, is that what you
That's what I meant then. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's attenuation. Flocculation is the yeast, like they're all huddled in groups and they're like huddle for warmth, and then they sink to the bottom.
No. High attenuation, so it should eat most of the sugars. But then I'm going to counter that with 2 ounces of bittering, my bittering hops for what remains, and then it should kind of have a crispness to it, not like if you're an IPA drinker, you probably know what I'm talking about out there. You drink some IPAs and just feel heavy and hard on the tongue, a heavy mouthfeel, and there's some IPAs that kind of have a light, almost citrusy crispness to them, which obviously the citrus flavor comes from things like the hops and all that. But this yeast is supposed to produce low esters, low tannins and stuff. So it's not, it's supposed to be kind of clean, a cleaner finish, I guess, as the goal there. So that is my unnamed IPA. Once it's completed and we're drinking it, we'll see how it comes out. If it's a keeper, then we'll let you know, on a broadcast or two when we've had a chance to, taste it properly and finish it up.
I have faith.
I think it'll be okay. That's my beer. Yeah.
Sweet.
What are you making?
Beer.
What was I thinking?
Hold on.
But you're not making barley wine today?
Never had barley wine. Is barley wine any good? Does it taste like beer or does it taste like wine? Never had it.
I think
I'm not
tastes
really.
like beer. I think it's a real heavy.
Is it super high alcohol beer?
Yeah.
Not interested. I passed on a 10%er last night just because I was just like, it's what? Nah, never mind.
Yeah, I get leery of anything over like 8.5. I get leery because it's like, I'm afraid I'm going to taste the alcohol. Well, for me as a beer drinker, that truly enjoys the flavor of different kinds of beers. If I can taste alcohol in the beer, it kind of ruins the experience for me. And I don't mean that in a snooty way. It's just like, I taste alcohol. It's not what I came here for. I came here to enjoy the beer. Sure, the buzz is nice, but I want to enjoy the flavor of the beer as well. And a well-made, high-octane beer to me, masks the alcohol flavor.
Yeah, you don't get it. I agree with you. And if you're getting kind of a whiskey taste with it, even a good belly warmer, you'll kind of get the belly warming effect, but you won't taste the alcohol. That's my thing.
So the Wee Heavy, which is going into a keg tonight, that's one of my concerns about the Wee Heavy, because that was a really high gravity beer.
Yeah, and you added that nutrient to it, and things got exciting.
Yeah, that beer was.
That's the one that went everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, I had the little volcano, little Mount Vesuvius in my kitchen. 6.5 gallon glass carboy. Still did not have enough headroom to keep the foam coming out of it.
Oh, everywhere.
But the beer's fine. When I racked it, I did a little taste test because I was concerned it might have got infected. It did not.
Good deal.
So far so good on that. But yeah, that's going in. That's going to go to the keg tonight. But I'm hoping when it's done, does not taste like alcohol. I didn't taste it. It didn't taste the alcohol when I racked it. You tasted it with me. We racked it last brew day.
I did. I thought it tasted fine.
Had a little bit of sweetness too, but it's supposed to. Wee Heavies are supposed to have a little bit of a sweet kind of. I can't remember if it was a caramel sweet, what the character was supposed to be, but
well, most of your Scotch ales, they do. They have kind of a caramely flavor to them.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on the sweet side.
Some of them, modern Scotch ales, it depends on if you talk to a purist.
Right.
And this is all, by the way, this is all reading. This is not like I'm some aficionado of Scotch ales. Happen to be one of my favorite beer types, Scotch ales and stouts. I like dark, heavy beers, obviously.
Yeah.
That's my style. All right. I'm going to put you guys in there. You know what? While I'm talking, you can light that. Okay. Oh, that's going to be a poof. All right.
That's going to be a poof.
It was going to be a poof because there's a lot of gas going. All right. I am doing the happy wife, happy life thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't bother me in the bit. There is no sacrifice at all to this happy wife, happy life thing because, so it had to be at least 1-2 days ago. How long ago was the coconut stout?
Well, probably about 6 weeks ago then.
Yeah, probably about 6 weeks ago. Anyways, it's all gone. We drank it. So anyways, I made a Russian Imperial stout and I added toasted coconut in the secondary because I wanted to go for the coconut flavor. And it was weird because like sometimes there was like, yeah, this is so coconutty. And then other times it's like, I can't taste the coconut at all. And it was just like random pours. It's like, this is a coconut beer. This is a not. All the coconut flavor went into that beer. Don't know why, but it did.
Just did that way.
In any case, I'm doing a Russian Imperial Stout. We're going to add some toasted coconut in the secondary. And it was really popular. My wife really loved it. So I am using Yeast 1028.
Right.
And when I made my first Russian Imperial Stout, there was a reason for that, which I have long since forgot.
Right.
I can look it back up because, you know, I overthink all my beers. We went with Breeze Amber Liquid Malt Extract, 9.9 pounds. So this one should kick. And the last one kicked a little bit, but not too bad. So I know that works. We're doing 2 ounces of East Kent Goldings for the bittering hops, right at the 60-minute mark. And then 1 ounce of East Kent Goldings at the 10-minute mark. Doing Crystal 150, 7 ounce Golden Naked Oats because you get the opportunity to say naked. Yeah, that's fun.
Wait.
Naked. See, it's fun. Right up there with Bulbous Bouffant, which is a different discussion. Golden Naked Oats, 7 ounces. Meliboid, and I still have not corrected that.
You know, you can do that right now.
No, I'm not going to, because now it's fun. All right, 2 ounces of Meliboid and black malt, 3 ounces. Roasted barley, 12 ounces. 3 ounces of bean chalk, which I said that to Ben yesterday as I was ordering it, and he's like, "What? What's that?" To which my response was, "Really? You're the guy that said it first." So British chocolate malt, because like Steve, I've kind of gotten sold on that. I do like the British chocolate malt. We should, you know, as we get better and better at this, we should experiment with like where British chocolate malt is more appropriate and where American chocolate malt is more appropriate. Because it might be something that the American is. Oh, I have my lock screen set up really fast. So, and then 2 ounces, well, 8 ounces of toasted coconut dumped straight into the secondary when we were back. So I actually took a OG of it last time and then forgot to take Final Gravity. So I have no idea what the alcohol was the last batch, and I will try harder this time.
Oh, I will be taking a Final Gravity of the wee heavy today.
Yeah, but that's because you're good at this sort of thing, and I'm just too fly by the seat of my pants. That's why it's good to have Steve here. He reminds me to do things like sanitize my equipment. Because I guarantee you, I would forget even that. Be like, what's your beer taste like? It's spontaneous.
It's a mystery beer.
Spontaneous? It's infected, isn't it? No. It's spontaneous. So anyways, there we go. That's the beer that I am making. It turned out really good last time. And
Which I can attest to that. I've had his coconut stuff before on a few occasions, and yeah, it's always been enjoyable.
Yeah, so that one's one that we can put in the books.
And like you, sometimes I taste coconut, sometimes I don't. I always get it kind of in the aftertaste.
There's definitely a little hint of it, but sometimes it is just like, bam, yeah, coconut stout. And other times it's like, there's a coconut here. Where? I don't know. I don't know. Taste, see, smelled. You lie.
Speaking of stout,
Put the lie.
we are drinking stout today. This is the Stilly Stout I made, but actually the same time you made the first batch of
the modified Stilly Stout.
Slightly modified, yeah.
Stilly Stout Light.
Not my recipe. It's one of the kits that our brew supply guys keep in the house there at their store. I like it because it's easy to make, and you know the kids fun. But I was accidentally shorted a pound of the dry malt that's supposed to go in there.
So let's be fair here. So let's describe our shopping experience when we go to Northwest Brewers. We go in, we order our stuff, and then we talk for 45 minutes. Sometimes half an hour after they're closed, we're still hanging out.
Right?
So when you chat and you blab and you flap your gums, things happen. And the problem is we live so far away.
Yeah, we don't.
It's hard to
we're missing
correct
something.
course.
We don't realize it until like the next day, like on a Sunday. It's like, oh no, and they're closed on Sunday, so we can't even make a quick emergency run or anything, you know.
All that to say, we love our brew supply guys. Ben and Trevor are great, and we are not complaining loudly about this.
No, just you know, but it wasn't like I was charged for it, and then it just didn't make it into the build up on accident. It's fine. So yeah, I was short a pound of these Stilly Stout, fermentables. but there was still multiple other things in there,
Oh yes.
and it came out just fine. So
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's really good. And the truth is, all of their kits are really good.
so that's what we're enjoying now.
Which
Which,
is
by the
not
way, I
ours.
can peaky lift the keg now, so
Oh,
that means we're really low on beer. But I have processed beer.
processed beer. Processed beer.
Processed beer. Now I have some other remnants of that hoppy pack from Red Hook. A couple bottles left from the Alaskan pack you brought over a few days ago.
Okay.
And I have a wife that would probably go get us beer if we needed it. So, I mean, I don't mean like I would expect her to, but I asked her, she would probably go past her, you know.
I love your wife.
Yeah, she takes care of it. She has always been good to us, you know.
She's given me many rides home.
Yeah.
At
Before we started
midnight.
brewing, we'd party it up over here often, and then his wife would drop him off, and then my wife would take him home. He and his sons would come over and hang out. We'd do pizza and lots of beer.
Lots of beer.
And,
Oh, like nice catch, nice catch.
Almost
Family channel, family channel.
and that's what we mentioned before. That's when we would go to the beer works and just buy different random beers we wanted to try and kind of take a picture of stuff and see what we like, what we didn't
Which
like.
we have mentioned, we need to do that.
We haven't supported Greg in a while. Yeah.
Oh no, you haven't. Maybe I have.
Oh, sure. I guess you do. Yeah, because you buy your Newcastle for him. So
Yeah, well, and the thing is, we checked on base, so we usually buy a case at a time, right? And Greg is about $5 more expensive than base.
Right.
So really, it's like that is a small price to support a local business.
Yeah.
Type deal.
And I'm all about supporting local, man.
Absolutely.
You know.
And the thing is that Greg will still get you a 6-pack of that wonky, weird beer that you saw on a TV show.
Yeah, he will do special orders. You're gonna pay premium for it, but he'll do a special order for you.
And you can buy one bottle of beer.
Yeah.
And it's not Hurricane.
No.
Or Schlitz.
This is all good. These are either good imports from Germany or England or anywhere, or regional micro craft brews. You know?
Yeah, smaller.
And he goes
breweries.
growlers. He has usually about like 12 or 15 beers on tap back there too.
That's right, he does.
Yeah.
We rarely take advantage of that. But...
Yeah, I haven't filled a growler in a long time through him. So,
would you like me to tell you about a beer I did not like?
I think you should.
Yeah, I even told the brewer himself I did not like it.
Ah.
I didn't know he was the brewer when I told him it. But I wasn't really critical. So it was Abuelita's Spicy Stout. Yeah. No.
Like little grandma stout or something like that.
So Abuelita is Spanish for little grandma. Yeah, sure. It's the diminutive form of grandma. But it's Abuelita's Spicy Stout. And boy, was it spicy. It was funny.
Cinnamon spicy, or what was it?
No.
Coriander or something?
No.
No.
Habaneros, jalapenos.
Oh,
like
chili spice.
A little essence of ghost pepper. I don't know, whatever he threw in there.
Oh.
It was spicy, like literally spicy. Not cinnamon and nutmeg.
No, you meant heat spice.
No, heat spice, like salsa. Like
I guess it makes sense with little grandma's spicy.
Yeah, sure. The whole Hispanic thing, I get it. And I tried it, and I took my cousin.
Was it one of those trying to find a place to spit things, or?
No, I'm a little more.
Have a little more truth than that.
Well, I have more constitution than that. I can usually. There's very few things.
Right.
Dude, I ate
swallow
squid.
this.
I ate squid intestines in Japan. After that, it's pretty much
Right. There's
I mean,
nothing
unless-
in this country that's gonna gross me out.
I mean, so for example, last night we got home from the tap room. Had a really great time, by the way, and I was hungry. There's nothing in the house. We have no leftovers. No matter what I make, I gotta cook it.
Go to Steve's house. He always has leftovers.
Yeah, but then again, by the time I got here, I could have cooked something. So it's like, anyways, I'm like, brothers, like, okay, so here we have, here's some shredded pork, or the remains of a pork shoulder, pernil, as Wendy calls it, which is basically Spanish for pork shoulder. So we had a pernil, and she cooked it, and there's leftovers. It was mainly the gelatinous fat, and then some chunks and stuff. Well, I microwaved it up and exploded all over the microwave. Oh.
Yeah.
So then I cleaned the microwave. And then I was like, I gotta throw some. I was like, I'll throw some cream cheese in here. And the cream cheese had little green dots on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder.
Can I scrape them off?
So I did, and I threw those in the garbage. And then I ate the cream cheese. And then I looked up whether mold on cream cheese was poisonous. It is.
Oh.
So you can cut mold off of hard cheeses like cheddar,
Right.
Swiss, Parmesan, hard rind cheeses. You can just cut the mold right off. They say cut pretty deep, like a whole inch. You know, which with your standard block of cheddar is the whole block. Throw it away. I don't cut the whole inch deep, but they say you can, with hard cheeses you can cut the mold off.
I do that.
They said with cream cheese and soft cheeses like cottage cheeses and stuff, they said don't do it. They said throw it away. And they said, so as I'm eating this and reading this, I was like, oh wow, that's bad. But I kept eating it because it was too late and I was hungry, and I'm still alive. They said, you know, diarrhea, nausea, sore throat, yada yada, brain damage, blindness, death. I was like, wow, those are some extreme consequences.
Sounds like most of the side effects of drugs we see on TV, like the commercials for all these drugs.
You are not kidding me, man. Some of these drugs, I mean, they're like this will help you with this very mild problem that's slightly embarrassing and that you can cover with makeup.
What?
Side effects include diarrhea and vomiting, running from the nose, bloody noses, watery eyes, dried pupils, blindness, brain damage, liver cancer, kidney failure,
Or death.
big multi-syllabic word that we can't pronounce, but it's bad. And up to including death. We will not help you read. Ask your doctor, we're not responsible. Why would you take this stuff? It's like the cure is worse than the disease.
Big pharma, that's the other industrial complex. It's trying to get us to think we need all this stuff too. But that's a whole different path to go on.
It is a whole different path, but you know, it's really weird because I heard a good argument against it. It's, you know, a lot of those scientists, those big pharma guys, obviously the businessmen, they're trying to make money. They want to make as much money as you can. And that whole Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson war that happened during COVID, and who came out on top, man, did that taint any sort of honest, we're trying to save you message they were putting out there. I mean, it's like, this will save your life. And you're like, yeah, and it sure as hell is saving your stock prices through the roof. You know, and it really felt like there were companies being picked as winners and losers, which is, you know, conspiracy theory type stuff. But, you know, it's not Pizzagate or anything crazy.
Pizzagate, yeah.
Which was really dumb. But there's no doubt, man. I mean, you just look at some of the stuff that happened and it's like, wow, this is convenient. You know, and wow, do I really need a 19th booster? Yes, I'm being hyperbolic. And if you're a booster person, good on ya. No problem. I don't have a problem with that. It just seemed like they just they tried to keep us afraid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they really did. The media and whoever else was pushing the various vaccines and this, they really tried to keep the fear factor ratcheted. And the problem, of course, is you just can't keep a human at that state of arousal, psychologically speaking, the arousal type. You can't keep them that high. That will come down. You will become numb to whatever situation. Mm-hmm. This is why people in starving countries, you go and watch their kids, and their kids are genuinely happy. Genuinely happy. They're getting 1.5 meals a day. They have to walk 3 miles every day to get clean water. It's part of their life, and they are genuinely happy. You would be like, no, you should be miserable. Things are so horrible. No, it's because we adapt to the situation we're in.
Adapt to it, yeah.
And the same thing happened with COVID, especially when you run into people like me, who I do not know a single person who died of COVID. No one. I know many people who got COVID. I know one 77-year-old man who has no kidneys and is diabetic, and he got COVID, and they discharged him from the hospital 3 days after he was let in, and he beat it. And when that's my experience, now I'm not saying so anecdotal evidence, that is not science. One story coming from some dude brewing a keg of beer here in a garage in the Pacific Northwest does not make, a consensus. But still, point being, that's my experience, right? And my grandmother, 90 plus, got COVID. Now, my grandmother got COVID when we were all the way into the Omicron version. My father-in-law, he was the Delta version, which the Delta version was still considered nasty, Not as bad as the very first version, which conveniently targeted old people. But still. Trim.
I know one guy that got the first version. He didn't die, but he almost died though.
Yeah. So and that's the thing is that's my experience. You tell me I know a person. You know, my other friend's like, well, my aunt's sister's. You know, well, I guess that would be his aunt too.
Those are my coworkers. You know.
Yeah, but it's like all of my experiences that ended with death or serious problems.
Right.
They're all third and fourth party. You know, 2 and 3 times removed from me. And there's a lot of people like me in the world.
Sure.
I mean, you think about it. How many people died in the U.S.? Do you remember? It was over 1 million.
I don't remember the total number.
Right? But if you think about it, so over 1 million died in the U.S., but there are 350, even more than that, million people in the United States. So the chances, I mean, so think of that ratio. The chances of you being a person who doesn't have anyone directly connected to you who was killed by COVID are actually pretty good.
Right.
So when your experience is that,
excuse me,
and we're getting back to the constant fear factor, by the way. We're going a long way through the woods, over the bridge, under the river, but we're getting there. So point being, that's my experience, right? The whole existence of COVID in our world is something that I've become numb to because human beings adapt to their environment and they get used to things. Again, the happy child in the starving country thing. So you get to that, it's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Brokaw. It's not Tom Brokaw. I don't know any. Do you know any anchors anymore? Is Katie Couric? No, she's not one. I'm dating myself.
we're all just talking heads and just spout bullshit. Not PG or PG.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't say that about every single news anchor, but I don't. American news to me is entertainment. It's not. I don't take it seriously anymore.
Well, we were discussing that. You know how it feels like we can't trust.
I mean, too many of the news agencies and periodicals are owned by one organization. So that tells me everything is filtered, man.
Yeah, it feels like you know, we hear our news media talk about how the population of X country with a state-owned media, you know, Russia and China can pop right in your head, but still, any country where there's a state-owned media, and then we have discussions about how those people are so misled because their media is state-owned. But then we think about our media, and it's like, yeah, you're not
No
really
different.
state-owned, but really,
It's still it's not state-owned in the conventional sense, but
the people who own the media have agendas.
they have agendas, and it's aligning with somebody somewhere.
You know, and whether
in the country.
it's Ted Turner, I don't know if he still owns CNN, you know, or whether it's Rupert Murdoch.
But it's probably owned by somebody even higher, like, you know, the Rockefellers.
Yeah, or what are those other really big name families?
You
The
know,
Rockefellers, the Rothschilds.
Rothschild,
They
yeah.
all start with R. Apparently R is a bad name. If your last name starts with R, maybe you're a bad person. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Because there's Guy Ritchie, he makes great movies. He can't be a bad person.
Or is he? Maybe Illuminati.
Welcome to Conspiracy Sunday.
Conspiracy Brew Day.
All right, and I am at 150. Bam! And I stopped it before I went screaming overboard, which I feel pretty good about. So we're gonna start the half-hour timer right.
Right, me out.
Right.
I'm gonna give it another 15-minute or so cushion.
Yeah, just in case we do things like I get talking and I don't react fast enough.
That's right.
It also gives a
I will
little.
respectfully remind you, hey man, don't forget your stuff. You know?
Right. I'm broadcasting. I am entertaining. Can't be worse. You brew the beer. I'm gonna be silly. So yeah, abuelitas was not good. Spicy in beer. And yeah, Jason's a really good guy, and he's a good brewer, right? Because all their stuff is good, except that.
That one was.
And
How did you critique it to him?
it was pretty much the whole I'm just not a spicy and beer person.
Okay.
You know, and you know, I knew it was their beer, and so for one thing, nobody is ever going to accept a critique like, dude, your beer sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, your taste
You
buds
should
suck.
be at least constructive, man.
Right.
Okay, well, why does it suck then? What do I need to work on? You know.
Well, I will tell you, I don't think I could really give him any guidance in that beer. Think of a food that you don't like.
Well, actually, you could, because as a consumer of the beer, you can be like, ooh, I didn't like these flavors. It doesn't mean you have to get technical about it and try to use beer terms. You know, just be like, I didn't like these flavors. It didn't match. It didn't mix with.
No. I think that's not what I meant. Okay, I'll give you a good example. Although I'm getting better at it. So let's rewind 7 years ago. Go way far back, right?
Wow.
I could not give you a critique of a metal song 7 years ago. Couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Not because I didn't know what I didn't like or whatever, but because I didn't know what I didn't like. It's like I'm not a metal guy.
Oh no, I know what you mean. When I was in the Navy, the maintenance officer in one of my squadrons used to say, "We don't know what we don't know yet. We're still trying to figure some things out." So I know exactly what you mean. We just don't know what we don't know yet.
Right. And so in this case, the thing that I didn't like was the spiciness. So that's what I didn't like. Well, that was the whole point of the beer. So it was like, I can't really say.
Not my thing.
Yeah, you're down to, I don't like spicy beer. And I don't like spicy beer, and I don't like spicy food with beer. With the exception of that one really sweet beer I made and that red curry pork. That was amazing.
Right.
So
I don't mind spicy food with beer, but I don't like spicy food with coffee.
I don't like spicy food with coffee either. I don't think it's that good either. Yeah.
Like I've tried to do like a breakfast burrito with tapatio, and it's just like, oh, it's not fit with my coffee.
Yeah. No. Nope. Does not do it right.
Yeah, I've had a spicy beer before on a couple occasions. One was a chili beer. It was back in my hometown. One of the restaurants we used to go to had this chili beer, and so we bought it. You could buy it by a single, 12-ounce bottle, and it was a lager style beer. And it just same thing. It's just like the chili spiciness just doesn't work with the beer flavor, And so yeah, I think you're talking about. I just don't prefer that combination of flavors. Maybe some people love it, but probably not you and I.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. You if it's something that you don't like, you can't give a critique to make it better.
Right.
It's like me critiquing liver and onions. It's like I can't tell you how to make liver and onions better because there is no way that you can make liver and onions that I will like. It doesn't happen, So it's yeah. There you are.
There we are. I'm just getting my timer ready because here in a few moments I'm going to go ahead and kick off my heat.
Are you stressed? Did you have a bad thing happen to you?
No, why?
Maybe you're excited. I don't know, dude, because you are like just slamming through these.
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm just
like always. I am ahead of you until
no. Remember, it used to. Oh, that's right. It used to.
No.
That's right.
I'm the guy that
joke
goes
used
fast
to be
until
you were
we
the
hit
faster guy.
the point.
We
Whatever the
flip-flop.
point is.
Right. No, I don't know, man. No, today was a good day. Yesterday was fine. I didn't drink any beer yesterday, believe it or not. But I got things done. I hung out with my family. We watched a couple movies together. It was a nice, pleasant evening.
Wait back up. You didn't drink any beer yesterday?
Not one.
That's the problem. There we go. Never mind.
Problem solved.
Figured it out.
I just didn't feel like a beer yesterday, honestly. So, drank plenty of beer Friday night. After we hung out and then had my game, which ended early. Gonzo had to go to Mount Vernon and take care of his girlfriend really early in the morning, so he was like really tired.
Oh yeah. I bet he was.
She had to get like a medical procedure thing done, so they had to be there really early in the morning. So he was just like, guys, I'm sorry, but I gotta go to bed. It's like, hey, dude, go to bed. We get it, man.
It's just a game.
We get it. Go to bed.
We're not making millions of dollars here.
So it was, but yeah, we ended up probably around between 11 and 11:30. And of course, I was at that point. I went out and hung out with the family for a little bit. They went to bed. I'm like, it's YouTube DJ time. So of course, I got on YouTube mode and clicky, watching who knows what. There's tons of music related stuff. And then finally, about 5 in the morning, I'm like, I should probably go to bed. So I went to bed. At 5 in the morning, 5 a.m.
Of course, you're kind of.
I'm a night owl,
I was gonna say your whole shift puts you on that.
Yeah. I mean, I work nights. I don't, typically get home between 1 or 2 in the morning. I try to go to bed as soon as possible because I'm up at 7:45 with my daughter to get her to school. So but when during the summer, like when they're off for the summer vacation, I'll get home from work and sometimes I'll have a beer or two. Sometimes I'll stay up till about 3, 3 or 4, depending on what I'm doing.
Sure.
Well, I hate wasting my day though in the mornings because most people who work, we'll just say like a 9 to 5 job, they get home from work, doesn't have to be 9 to 5, but just a regular day job. They get home. There's still time to do stuff in the evening in most cases. Do what you got to do. Well, I don't have that, so I have to reverse it. I have to do my stuff in the daytime before I go to work.
You know, but I was thinking about that. I think the difficulty for a lot of people who work the day shift and getting stuff done at night,
Are tired.
they're tired. And
Tired,
it's like,
yeah.
what do you want to do? It's like, oh,
Gosh, must be
I'm
nice.
going to go put in an hour and a half of intense technique theory study on my guitar.
Right.
It's like, no.
No,
I'm
you're
going to
tired.
watch The Critical Drinker for an hour.
I'm gonna drink a beer and laugh. You know.
Yeah, I'm going to veg my
Right.
brain thing.
That's one of the reasons I love
Whereas
being
if you
nice.
start your day at 9 o'clock, but don't go to work until 1500, 3 o'clock
3
p.m.
o'clock, yeah. I get a lot done, and it's more.
Yeah,
effective,
because
yeah.
you're energetic, and then once you're at work, you're at work. So it's like, okay, I can just kind of zone through this.
do my job. Yeah.
And the other
Yeah.
thing is work has it's an external motivation, right? You know,
I have to do this, or I won't get paid. You
a
know.
lot of times work is less thought intensive. What you have to do is laid out for you,
Yeah.
you know.
Especially
And
my line of work. I mean, sure, I have to solve a problem every now and then, but most of the time, it's just watch, rinse, repeat with what I do.
Yeah, and the reward is very, very, very concrete.
You know.
Money, man.
I get paid every 2 weeks. You know.
Oh man, I'm excited. My friend from Japan, Timoteo's prior
Oh.
therapist. Yeah, she messaged me on Facebook the other day. She's like, Timmy says you're coming to Japan. I'm like, yeah. And
Yeah.
she actually sounded excited. I'm like, nice.
That's cool.
I liked her. She's very cool. Very cool.
Where does she live in Japan?
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Okay.
She lives in Tokyo, so that's where we're going. She gave me a link to buy bullet train passes. She's like, you will want to buy
Yeah.
this, some sort of like pass. I don't know if I can get a month pass or something. She's like, it'll save you a lot of money rather than walking up to the turnstile and just buying
Yeah.
tickets.
And it was like when I was there, when I was stationed there, in the early-ish 2000s, it was just a magnetic card that you just put up against the turnstile and it would turn green, you walk right through it. It would open for you, you know.
Right. But you got to pay for that stuff, and if you're paying
Yeah.
per trip, it's a lot more
Yeah.
expensive than if you buy this.
Yeah, if you buy the multi-pass, it'll it definitely helps out.
So it's gonna be really cool
and it speaks
because
to experience. So
because I'm gonna go to Japan, and I've got a person who lives in Japan, again, person in country, so I can go experience Japanese culture. The only thing I wish we were going for Christmas, because I want to eat Kentucky Fried Chicken in Japan during Christmas.
Japan and Christmas is funny because Christmas is a Western cultural thing.
Well, it's a Christian thing, very Christian.
Oh, okay, you're right.
I mean,
But the Japanese, a lot of them celebrate Christmas. I don't know if they celebrate it for the same reasons that we would do here, but I remember when I got there, it was right before Christmas, the first year. It was 2003 when I first got to Japan, and it was like a week before Christmas Day. And I went out in town, just whoa, mind blown. I'm in Japan, And we went to this cool little bar cafe. My friend and I called the Sandglass Cafe. That place was awesome until they changed. But anyway. And they had
it was
Christmas.
awesome till it was.
That's another story. But that Christmas lights up, and I walked in, and they're just Japanese people. Oh, Merry Christmas! And kind of the English accent Japanese
Oh,
person
sure.
says.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
L's for R's and all
Right,
that fun
right.
stuff.
Not that's on me. It's just wait. Someone in Japan who doesn't speak English regularly, their English is kind of
You know what? Pause
You know?
your statement right there. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just addressing a fact.
right. No, right. I'm not trying to. I don't want someone to be like, "Well, you're making fun of Japanese people." No, I'm not.
We are too thin-skinned in the world. And that's a problem.
You don't think a Japanese person would laugh at me if I was trying to speak Japanese, and I wouldn't get offended by it. I'd be like, I know I screwed that one up.
You should listen to the Mexicans laugh at me when I speak Spanish.
Exactly. So
I mean, but here's the thing though. I am laughing with
a
them.
non-native speaker sounds funny to a native speaker, vice versa. And you're right.
You know?
You go with it, you're like, oh yeah, that was silly. Anyway, point is,
Even-
I thought it was really cool that they were like expressing Merry Christmas to us as we walk in the door, and
Well, sure.
they decorated. Obviously they're not obligated to do that.
No, but maybe a little capitalism, maybe a little. We just like our American
Oh yeah,
clientele.
they probably just enjoyed it because Americans seem to really love this, and so let's celebrate with them and have fun.
People do things for other people just for fun.
Yeah.
So there's a girl down at the grocery store. Her name is Mika. She's from Japan, And when I go through her line, I always say, "Ohio gozaimasu,"
Yeah,
you know.
Standard greeting.
She
yeah.
says something else, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm out of Japanese," and she laughs at me.
If you really want to impress her a little bit, maybe, I don't know.
I do.
If you pay with cash, give it to her like this. Like the
Can
bill.
I do that with a card?
You could.
I know. I
But
just never have cash.
Culturally in Japan, when you pay someone with cash, you offer it kind of, you put the bills between your thumbs, kind of, it's horizontal, kind of, it's like a humbling thing, like
A little genuflection type
kind
deal.
of, you don't have to bow, you just kind of hand it to them like that, and she'll recognize that because that's part of her culture,
Not gonna lie, I really loved the bowing when I was in Japan.
No, that's cool.
I totally bowed to people.
Yeah.
They bowed back, so I didn't know if I was ever doing it right, but I was like, what the heck?
Right.
I will be the silly American tourist trying to participate in your culture.
No, don't worry, man. If you get lost, just look lost. Someone is going to help you because the Japanese people are very helpful. A big part of their culture is consideration for others, which America, we can learn something from that. But yeah, consideration for others is a big part of the culture. So it doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or local. If you need help or look like you need help, someone's going to be like, "Hey, do you need some help?" A lot of times, obviously, they're going to recognize you as a he probably doesn't know where he's going or he can't find his station. And so first there, quite a few times I was just kind of looking at the board going, "Oh man, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go." And some random person would just be like, "Hey, where were you trying to go?" And I'm trying to go to Sabamino Base over in this area. Like, "Oh yeah, you need to take this train and this train." And they would help me out.
Yeah, I'm just laughing. You're like, obviously they'll think you're. You just see that. Can you help me? And they're like, "Oh, you look like a native. I thought you were just from here." Really?
Oh, you're not Japanese.
Wow, Tokyo's a lot more diverse than I thought it was.
Actually, it really is.
I'm sure it is. It's
Tokyo's
an international city.
Tokyo's like a New York, man. It's just a melting pot of culture. I mean, granted, it's majority Japanese, but you'll find a lot of British people there. You'll find a lot of Irish people there. A lot of Western style pubs too. I wish I could give you the name of it. It'll come back to me maybe later.
Most professional
All right,
broadcast.
and we have a phone call.
It's Steve.
Funny. So what I was saying, I lived in Japan for a number of years when I was in the military, and where Jamey's going, there's a lot of cool like Irish English style pubs in Japan, and the Tokyo Circle as they call it. Two big areas, like kind of like suburbs or boroughs, if you want to call them, are Shibuya and Shinjuku, and there's huge party scenes there. I used to go watch a lot of bands play. It was great experience. I miss it. Maybe one day I'll go back. There is an old Japanese kind of legend or proverb that states if you visit Japan and you don't climb Mount Fuji, you are destined to go back. Well, I lived there for 4 years. I never climbed Mount Fuji, so maybe I'll make it back one year. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. No, what I was saying was, you're going to be in the Tokyo Circle, kind of as it's called. Because when you look on the train station maps, Tokyo is like a giant circle of stops, primary stops.
Gotcha.
For the main train, and two of them that are always like kicking, party, great bars, music is Shibuya and Shinjuku. They're right next to each other. They're like right, they're adjacent stops, and that's where those like English style pubs and Irish style pubs are. And Japanese, when I was there, especially the businessmen, they love to go drink beer after work, kind of thing.
I'm liking this country.
And I remember being in there.
That is, that's one thing I'm gonna do.
Show,
is I gotta find Japanese beer.
Oh, yeah,
not English beer.
Yeah, just drink Asahi or Kirin. That's Japanese beer. That's all homegrown Japanese beer.
Might try to go a little more local. Like
I don't remember seeing like microbrews in Japan, honestly. The closest thing I saw to that was it was a restaurant in the style of a hometown buffet or a Golden Corral kind of place where it's we go up and refill your plate. They had self-serve beer, and I couldn't tell if it was microbrew or just beer they had on tap. And
I'll check it out.
So
short little thing is I'm not going to drink any American beer while there. I don't do that.
But there is a lot of American beer there too.
It's like when we went to England.
A lot of English beer too.
When we went to England, Wendy wanted to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. And it was a big moment for me, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It was. We're standing on the street corner. Kentucky Fried Chicken's right there. This really cool looking pub is right over there. And I'm walking that way and I see it.
It's like we got the Gilded Bulldog over here. We got Kentucky Fried Chicken.
And I look at Wendy and I'm like, do you want to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken? She's like, yes. All right, let's go. You know? Well, it's, you know, it really was a big moment for me. I really had to take a deep breath. It's like, stop, dude.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, but not even that.
No.
It's like, I mean, yes, that to a part, but even more importantly, you know, this is your wife's vacation too, and you're just dragging her to all the places you want to do. Now,
I get it.
on the bright side, folks, my wife loves beer like I do, so really going to a lot of pubs, not such a bad
Wasn't a
thing.
problem.
And most of the beer was not at 55 degrees. I mean, it probably wasn't ice cold like it is in the United States, but the whole 55, 50 degree, the warm British beer thing, I don't remember experiencing that.
Yeah, my one only time I've been to England, I remember the beers were cold. The ones they got on tap were cold. They weren't ice cold like American beers, like you just said, but they weren't room temperature either. They were chilled. They were cold, you know. Well, what I thought was cool was the tap pumped. It wasn't a standard carbonation like we have. The CO2 system was like a pump.
So that was some of your.
They had
just the regular style.
Yeah.
Like there was obviously a CO2 system when I was there.
And they also drank beer that came in a bottle too, which was definitely cold. It was in the cooler, you know.
Obviously.
But that was like 1996. That's the only time I've ever been to England. So.
Yeah, I went to England in 2019, so you know things changed a little bit.
It's a little different now.
But I am excited to see my friend Yoko because I haven't seen her in quite a while. And like I said,
I guess I should get started now.
that is, you are way past.
That's right. We are guaranteed.
Yes, we will not be fighting over the wart chiller today. But it will be fun. It will be fun to see Yoko again. And like I said, it's a contact there in. Try again. Okay.
Get scared of it.
I love yours, man. It's just like boom! I am alive.
Let you know.
So anyhow, but it's
make sure I'm centered well in here because my plan tends to be this way.
yeah, mine's off.
So I actually don't want to be centered. All right. Yeah, no, I think it'd be cool when you guys get to do that.
Well, you get to see culture, and so the reason I brought up the Kentucky Fried Chicken is I was talking with her when she was here in the States, and she said, you know, the tradition in Japan for Christmas is Kentucky Fried Chicken, and
warm sake as well.
So I bet I can try the warm sake. I mean, well, we won't be there during Christmas. We're going in the spring because I have been to Japan in the summer, and oh my gosh, muggy hot, no thank you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in May. I don't know when the cherry blossoms and all that fancy stuff happens, but it might be around there.
April, May, it's spring, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Which is beautiful, by the way. Some of the parts of the city have like this, you know, parallel lines of trees for like a block or so, and it's just so pretty, man. You know?
But don't forget the real reason we're going to Japan.
Anime.
Yeah. I mean, not for me.
No, I know. For demo.
Yeah, well, video games more than anime. He's not really into anime that much. He's into video games.
I thought he was into certain characters. Maybe I was mistaken then.
Well, yeah, Sonic. And
No, I mean anime characters. You know,
yeah.
So.
No, I could ask him. I've seen him watching some anime, but no, his big thing is the video games. He wants to go to Akihabara. He wants to go to Nintendo Land, which apparently is like.
That's where you go to build computers, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the place to go when you want to build your own PC.
So we're gonna go to Akihabara. He might end up being disappointed because it might not be as, you know, consumer level as he's expecting from what you're describing. You know, that seems more.
No, it's all part stores. You know, because I remember when I was there, a lot of the guys that I knew that were into computer building, that's where they would go and they'd buy their video cards and their motherboards and everything they needed.
So we're gonna go
and build these screaming demon gaming PCs at like a fraction of the cost compared to over here. You know.
So we're gonna go to there. We're gonna go to Nintendo Land at least one day. So that's gonna cost some money. It's okay. Timo's Taylor's paying for it. That's so cool. He's paying for everything. He's like, yeah, dude, you're gonna take me to Japan? Your dime? Sweet. I mean, I have no doubt. So he's got 12 grand saved up for that. We're gonna burn through all of that and more. Easy.
How long are you gonna be there?
Well, it looks like we're going to be there 7 days because just like our metal concert with my one niece, my other niece decides to get married. It's like, really? Really? Why don't they consult me before they can get married? Why don't you get married in August, 2 months after I come back, you know? But no, you got to get married the time that we're supposed to go to Japan. But the truth is that England was easier to do 2 weeks. Number one, I'm not sure that England is as expensive as Japan. I don't know, but
I couldn't tell you these days.
yeah, I couldn't tell you either. But it's easier to hang out in a country where you speak the language. Like when we go to Argentina, which maybe like not next year, maybe another year after that, but we're going to Argentina. I'm going to walk on the Patagonia. I'm going to see this land.
Interesting about Argentina. I heard it pronounced Argentina today.
By who?
An Argentinian.
Well, then that's probably how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Argentina?
Argentina, yeah. She said Argentina. Kind of Argentina.
I knew an Argentinian on Twitter for a while there, but she was living in Venezuela, and then she disappeared, which makes me kind of wonder. Because I know I haven't said anything, because on Twitter, I am the least controversial person. It is all ballerina bears and fluffy kittens. Like, seriously, I don't do controversy on Twitter.
Probably a good idea because Twitter is just so sensitive, you know.
Well, I mean, it depends. Yeah, the Twitterverse, I mean, there's people like a lot of the musicians and stuff who try and kind of avoid all that.
Yeah.
It bleeds through, though. Man, it is so hard because I follow various musicians, and some of them, I actually have unfollowed some of them. It's just like, look, dude, I followed you because you're a musician, but all you do is talk about politics, and you talk about it in quasi-violent terms, and I disagree with you 180 degrees. So it's like, you're gone. You know? It's like, why don't you talk about your latest composition? Why don't you talk about how much you like polka metal? Which, by the way, we need to make polka metal a thing.
Polka metal. You sure it already exists?
I don't know. We should look it up later.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some German metal band that does polka metal, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'd be easy to do. You just take that bass, which is usually just kicking with the kick drum, you know,
Right.
dum, 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 and 1/5 it, dum, 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 boom, 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 boom. Meanwhile, the guitar's like jump, 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 boom, 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 jump,
You
jump,
have to have
jump.
an accordion.
Yeah, metal accordion.
Right. An accordion, and then you run it through like a distortion pedal or something. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Although, you know, less effective. It's like so the strings, the violinists particularly, and some of the cellists have tried. They're like, yeah, my electric violin and the distortion. And every time I hear it, it's like, I'm sorry, man, but Jimi Hendrix did that sound 40 years ago. It is not even remotely unique or interesting. What the heck, dude?
Oh, I'm sorry. There was no statement there.
All right. Liar.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Hang him on the telephone wire, or something like that when I was a kid.
So anyways, yeah, Japan, gonna be exciting. Person there, experience real culture, because as you and I just have discussed, I don't know what the cultural thing is. What's cultural? Visiting Buddhist temples. Are they Buddhist? Zen?
Buddhist, Shinto,
Shinto?
Tao. No, Tao's more Chinese, but
Man,
Um,
Tao is more philosophical than religious.
yeah, you're right.
isn't
It
it?
is more philosophy.
I mean, Japan is more ancestor worship, right? Do they have a real strong...
Japan does have Western religions. There is a Japanese Christian society there.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about what you would really attach to the
Buddhism,
Japanese.
Shintoism are like the big main
Yeah.
national religions.
I mean, the
there are
Orthodox.
temples everywhere, man, which is cool. I visited quite a few when I was there. Depending where you want to go, the biggest one closest to Tokyo is down in called Nara. Probably check out, is it Kamakura? No, Kamakura is near Tokyo.
I might.
I think Nara is actually closer to Osaka.
If we get that bullet train pass, depending on how it works out, I might try to get back to Hiroshima. Because Hiroshima I was so, fill the beers. I know we were talking about Hiroshima. Well, I'll keep talking about Hiroshima while you fill the beers. So, obviously, when we went to Japan, I was very much expecting this anti-American thing. particularly when we went to Hiroshima. I was like, okay, here it comes. We're going to go, and it's just going to be the Americans are these evil people. Look what they did to us. And when I got there, it was actually amazing. I was actually amazed. The balanced and fair presentation of the Japanese-American conflict of that war. You know, and how they presented things. I mean, all of the whole Peace Park and everything. Just the way they... Was that the sound of a floating keg? Not yet? I thought
probably next port.
But I was there, and it's like, really, it was no evil Americans, noble Japanese oppressed under the boot of the American. That wasn't there at all. It was this balance. It's like, this general did this did this. The whole don't wake the sleeping giant thing. That one came out, and I forget who said that, where that one has come from.
Admiral Yamamoto. But that quote is kind of misquoted though.
That's the thing. I don't know if it's like it's it's kind of like Play It Again. Sam actually doesn't ever. That's not that's not in the movie. Play It Again, Sam.
Right.
But
Yeah,
still,
it's not quite what he said, but it's more dramatic by the way it's
which let's be honest, who doesn't?
right. Nuclear weapons don't need to exist, man.
No, I mean
Yeah.
we could literally destroy
all of humanity.
Yeah, I mean, to the point, it's like, no, we're not bouncing back from that one because you killed every system, biological or geological. You killed every system that could possibly let the planet heal itself. You know, you wiped it all out. You have destroyed the world. You know, and so kind of like that's might be where we're going with the whole climate change and pollution thing. You know, I'm not doing cleaner things.
No, I'm not either.
It's like I'm all for I'm an electric car guy. I just
when there's a
wish
good
they didn't
electric
cost
car,
$150,000.
that and they need to have I understand the manufacturing process isn't all that clean, especially for those batteries.
No, it's not, and but you have to be really careful. So the people that I talk with, obviously I'm in the auto parts industry, so there's not a lot of people that are really, the electric car, we're so excited.
Right. They still rely on that gas motor.
Yeah, this is like all our money comes from the internal combustion engine. But still, you get in some discussions with people who, they don't keep their eyes open when they go into these discussions. I mean, that is a left, right, center, well, not so much a center problem, but still, that was your pot.
So like him behind me, I was just like, what the hell's over there making noise?
But still, it's one of those things, and so they'll grab onto things that are half facts.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can't recycle an electric battery. It's like, a lithium-ion battery. It's like, wait. That is not quite true. It is cost prohibitive to recycle a lithium-ion battery at this point.
You can do it, but it's going to cost.
And then they'll talk about things like, well, they only go this far. It's like, how far did the Model A go?
Yeah.
When the gasoline engine was first coming into existence.
So granted, electric cars are best suited for local driving, man. Right
At this point, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what most people do.
Right, but that is not a good argument because it has not swayed the human populace at all.
Yeah,
because the EV community has used that argument for decades. They've told you and I, well, you only drive 20 miles a day on average. And we've said, yeah, that's nice. Once in a while, I want to drive 2,000.
Right.
And I don't want to take 4 months to do it.
No, exactly. Yeah, because you have to stop every freaking 300 miles to charge up. It would definitely slow your progress down. So, sure, right now, the EV market, if you're going to buy an EV car, just might as well keep a gasoline car ready for your long distance travels, for vacations, whatever you're going to do,
Or really plan them out. I mean,
and I wasn't trying to say that as like the ultimate argument. It's just like, if I buy an EV, I'm going to buy it not intending to use it for long distance driving. I'm going to intend to use it for my local driving because it will be efficient,
Yep.
When I'm driving around town or Burlington, wherever we got to go,
Right, and I'm not against the EV at all. And that's one of the places where poor Elon Musk, who's not a popular guy right now.
No, he's kind of. Anyway, I don't want to go into that, but.
I will.
Well, no. I don't have a problem talking to Elon Musk, but I was gonna make a comparison with somebody, and I decided.
Yeah,
I was gonna.
I don't know who you're talking about, but let's just, if it's something that's really gonna start a flame war, let's not do that.
Yeah.
I don't mind talking about even controversial topics, as long as we talk at an intelligent level. You start doing the whole personality war thing, that's not a good conversation.
You need your goop, dude.
Well, I need the aim and flame,
Anything.
which is right there. I got that.
There.
Go get the goop. Because I gotta get up. Wait, I should add the goop first.
You good?
Never mind, I'll just sit here and do nothing. Sitting here and doing nothing.
Goop.
Return of the goop.
Here, I'll get the good ones open and get the thing peeled off for you too.
Oh, thanks, man. Ladle? Ladle?
Ladle.
Thank you, sir. It's definitely the worst part. All right. Can you do it without getting all sticky? No.
I'm sure gonna try.
We try it every time and fail.
And fail.
There. Oh, I guess that works.
You pour, I'll peel.
I guess I don't really need this anymore.
What's that? Oh, no, not really.
Because
Not till we chill.
just going to boil. Going for the boil. All right, in you go.
There we go. It's peeled without too much resistance.
Sweet. Awesome.
Sometimes it's like, really?
Yeah, sometimes they just destroy themselves.
All right, man. Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
So,
Here, I'll get you your hops because you're gonna go in the boil pretty quick, probably.
I imagine, I don't have my heat on right now, though. So.
I gotta figure out how I want to do my hops, actually.
Oh, you don't have a schedule yet?
I have a rough schedule in my head, but I haven't quite 100% determined how I want to do it. So I'm gonna know everything I do.
I imagine you're going to throw your bittering hops in right
Oh,
at
yeah.
60, right?
That'll be right at 60. That part's easy. It's what I want to do in between. I'm not gonna dry hop. That's a big difference on this beer. I decided I'm not gonna dry hop this one.
Have you considered chilling to 170 and then adding a schedule?
Chilling to 170.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I am at 10. Oh,
So-
no, I lost my flame. That's right.
While we're going along, bust out your phone and look up like zero minute editions and things. Because I read somewhere, I think it's when I was making the Space Dust IPA or something, but there were some people that what they do when you got 0 minute additions, they'll get the wort down to 170. And
That's
then,
counterintuitive because you just brought it up to a boil.
right. But it's at 0 minutes, so it's after the boil.
Oh, that's okay. That's what they call a whirlpooling then. You whirlpool it, you get the temperature down.
Yeah.
And
And I don't know.
all right.
And then they'll let it sit at 170 for a little bit or something.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I'm not gonna worry about that this time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something. I mean, considering it's going to be an IPA, what do you got for hops?
Chinook, Centennial, and East Kent Goldings.
So I imagine your Centennial is going to be your bittering. Yes? No?
Uh,
I mean, you can use almost any hops for bittering, but
well, I'm going with the higher alpha acid one, which is in this case, I believe it's the Chinook. Yeah, the Chinook are bittering. the Centennial are like in the middle kind of thing, and the Goldings are going to be flavoring hops at the end.
So, do you have times for anything besides the Chinook?
I have rough times in my head. I haven't quite decided what I'm doing. I'm going to figure out as I go, and I'm going to know what time I put it in there.
Yeah, I was just thinking, anything before the 15-minute mark, I don't think is gonna do much for you.
Well, not for flavoring, or not for aroma, no. But it'll counter the sweetness.
Right.
So this should be fine.
It'll be fine. You know, Nathan hasn't showed up yet.
No, I noticed that. Maybe he's busy today.
Well, Peter went on Twitch at 2:30.
Oh.
So Nathan might be watching Peter.
Right.
Totally fine.
Yeah. Peter's playing late into the evening.
Right.
Because he's
He's
in
England,
England,
right?
So he started at like 10:30 at night.
Oh.
Oh, that sucks. You know, we should make little hooks.
Something, huh?
Instead of spending all this time, you know, tying them around the spoon and all that fun stuff. It could be a little piece of copper and a hook, just sink.
Right?
No, I'm gonna have. I mean, it'll get filtered out, but still, it's just like,
Little threads. High fiber beer.
Okay, now I'll just let that do its thing.
What else am I gonna do?
Yeah, well, it's rough. Like what I'll do is at 60 minutes, I'll put my bittering hops in. At like 40 minutes, I'll fill in an ounce of hops. At like 20 minutes, I'll fill in an ounce of hops, and then I'll put in my flavoring hops. I'll just note down whichever time I do what. So I'm gonna set up my note right now. No.
What do I know?
No, I'm just making it. Um, 6.6 pounds.
Yeah, old Peter was kind of a little bit of a victim of attrition there.
Yeah, well,
Well, he was a professional streamer, right? And
Right.
he still is, right? So he's kind of like one of those YouTube personalities. And no lie, if you ever watched one of Peter's streams, dude, the cat is just magnetic. It's like, it just, and the English accent helps a lot. At least as an American. I'm sure the English people don't hear it at all, but as an American, you're like, oh, everything he says is just so proper. So lovely to listen to him. Anyhow, so there's this video game, State of Survival. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a video game out there.
I heard of it. You know, I don't know what it is, but I've heard of it.
It's one of those tactical raiding games, kind of like Wild Light. It's not. It's like there's a lot that goes into it, and apparently tomatoes are the currency.
Oh.
So all your money is tomatoes. In any case, he got the company, State of Survival folks.
Okay there?
Yeah, my spoon got hot. So he linked in with them and started doing streams, and you know, in a lot of your streaming platforms, there's ways to like give little gifts to your streamer, various monetary things. But he was actually getting paid to do it. And there was another company within the company that was kind of organizing all the streaming things. Well, apparently that company evaporated.
Oh.
And like overnight evaporated. So they're in limbo. So he's kind of scrambling, and he's kind of trying to transition. He's going to work harder on his Twitch side of things, which I really have no doubt that he'll do fine. Because I'm not lying when I say watching Peter's streams, he just has this natural, easygoing way about it, and it's always entertaining, and he's just kind of like.
So he really knows how to stream more properly.
Yeah, I mean, he's much better than us. I mean, we're a freaking soup sandwich, let's be
Oh,
honest.
I know that. We're hobby streamers, man. He's like professional.
But it sure is fun.
Yes. Frost.
And I think we have good moments. Good moments.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that in a mood way. I was just like, yeah, we're beer brewers who just happen to stream at the same time. You know.
Right. Well, it would be nice to have a production team. And that is the other thing.
I think I chose wisely.
Oh, you do?
Look at that color.
Well,
I like it. I like it.
let's do one better.
Obviously, it's because it's in the 3-gallon, volume at the moment. It's going to be darker than it's going to be in the end, but
And now it is time for
No, pot
Cam. Do 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 do. That is a very nice color.
I like that.
That is very IPA-ish.
Right now, it's going to dilute a little bit when they.
But that'll be okay, because actually, I was actually, when I said that, I was already kind of thinking forward to the dilution.
Right.
Although it's going to darken up. No.
It's
Wait,
not
you're
dark.
still in your steep, right?
Right. I still got to put in malts too, so they'll darken it up a little bit.
Yeah, so it'll darken a little bit, but it will dilute quite a bit, 2 pounds. So it's going to be nice and golden.
That's the point. I want a golden IPA. Golden.
Golden. Why are you looking at the camera? Because it's habit. We're on pot cam, man.
Golden.
Golden.
We have a serious delay.
We better have a serious delay, because I know I chose OBS camera.
No, I know you did. I noticed the when you walked over to do something, and you'd already came and sat back down while we were talking about it. Out of the corner of my eye, saw it on the iPad over there. I'm like, wow, that's like a 7-minute delay, man. I think I'm being more hyperbolic there, but it was.
You know what it might be? Sometimes when you hit play on these things, you're not actually watching live. You're watching the replay of the live as it's happening. Whereas, like, that's much better.
Right.
Like, so that's actually live, 100%.
Live, man. Oh, I forgot to put my yeast.
Your yeast?
Yeah, well, I'm writing down my recipe.
Oh. You're still writing down your recipe?
Don't be hating.
All right, no judgment. No judgment. I do not judge. Well, I mean, I do, but Judgy Jamey judges you.
There we go. Whoops. All right. Y Labs 1275 Thames Valley is my use. All right, done. It's titled Unnamed IPA, so we'll see, man.
Unnamed
If
IPA.
it is as successful as the Resurrection Ale, then I'll be 200 my belt then for like repeatables, you know. Of course, I got to tweak it a little bit because I got to experiment a little bit and see if I can improve it, you know. But not like go crazy with it. Just a small tweak here,
Just
small
so
tweak
long
there.
as you keep your original recipe around, so
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Because that way you can always return to base camp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 18 minutes left on mine.
Did you bring my hops out? I don't see them. Oh, they're in the fridge. Don't worry about them. I mean, let's not worry.
Yeah, I left them in your bag.
Once I start, because I like to get my boil fully under control before I add the hops. So we can wait.
Okay.
Another difference between Peter's streams and our streams is, like you mentioned, we are brewing beer. So we have an activity that really impacts any sort of,
Right.
like seriously, Peter can be his own production team to an extent, you know, because it all kind of happens. I mean, especially if you're playing a video game, you know, it's like you just screen share to your stream, put your little face down in the corner, and that's it. You don't need a lot of changes. It's not like going to PotCam where it's like,
Right.
oh, we're gonna do this, or like a really nice, you know, long form interview format where we had a camera facing you and another camera facing me, and occasionally you zip back and forth. That would look really cool, but we'd have to hire someone like your daughter. Does she work for peanuts? How about gummy bears?
Which daughter? The older one? She's gonna want money.
Bailey.
She would probably work for gummy bears.
How's her attention span?
What attention span?
Okay, so we need money.
You ever heard of a gnat?
I have. Very
Yeah.
small insect.
I think a gnat has more attention span than she does. Because the moment it gets boring, her mind goes zoop,
Oh,
somewhere else, man. You
you
know?
know, and to be honest, man, I would.
She's
not.
a kid. I don't blame
Yeah,
her.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, really. If you were doing production, you would. If you're not into what is happening here, it
No.
would be hard.
Right. No, my teenager, especially if she's making money, she will be like focused on the job, and she will do everything she can to do a good job, you know. But you know what? 15-year-old doesn't want money, but she goes and does things with friends and hangs out.
Right.
Needs money.
These things require money.
All right.
Man, yesterday down at the tap room. So we're waiting our turn to play, and you know, Timo loves an audience. Kid
Right.
loves an audience. In fact, that's one of the reasons I'm so glad that they're down there and that they have that piano, because it gives him a place where he can play, and I don't have to spend 6 months setting up a big concert. It's like, let's just go down and play 4 or 5 songs. Just bang them out. You know, you don't gotta be perfect. Just have fun. They'll love you, you know, because everyone else is playing open mic, you know. It's like I did the beer song and I forgot the lyrics. Actually, I went around and I just said that, hold on, I know these. And then I came back in and finished the rest of the song.
Like, oh.
And they just went right out my head. It's like, I wrote that one too.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. It's
So-
like, oh.
So anyhow, Timo he's playing, and you know, he schmoozes it up, and there's lots of pretty girls there, which boy he doesn't like. Sarcasm.
That was the same.
So he's like hitting it, and at one point we were we weren't getting ready to go. Oh, we're kind of getting ready to go, right? So it's getting towards the end of the night, and we're kind of getting ready to go. But there's one guy playing, and he had listened to me, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be polite, and I'm gonna listen to this guy. That's kind of open mic etiquette, right?
Right.
Now the guy
You supported me, I'll support you.
right now the guy that plays at 1:30 in the morning, it's like, sorry, dude, you know,
I still have to drive home, man. I
yeah,
can't say
pay
that.
some
Like,
folks to be your groupies. I'm sorry, show up earlier, but still, you know, so and it was not nearly that. For one thing, they close at 11, so we're nearly that.
okay. Okay.
So the guy's playing, and he was good. Actually, he was pretty good. He was playing kind of Mark Knopfler style. He had a Strat.
Oh,
Playing on the Strat.
The finger play.
But yeah, so he's got kind of a bass line going with his thumb, and then some sort of melody going with his hand. Yeah, it was good. I mean, he's definitely an okay guitarist.
That's cool.
So he was able to fill both parts and make an interesting guitar part. And then he was just singing, I don't know, 70s rock type stuff. A little bit of Grateful Dead. I know he did one Grateful Dead tune because he said it was Grateful Dead too. Because aside from Truckin', Dude, I think that's called Bourbon Street. I think that's the name of the song. I don't know.
No idea. I
I'm
was
not-
never a deadhead. So.
I'm not a Deadhead either.
Yeah. Nothing against the dead or the deadhead. I just
They just weren't my
didn't get
thing.
into it, man. I didn't get into it.
Yeah. So in any case, I was listening, and at one point I looked over, and Timo was talking with this family, right? Mom, dad, daughter. Tim was talking with the mom. I'm like, well, uh-oh. It's like, and I hear, how about a hug? I'm like, what? And she's like, okay. Big hugs. And I'm like, these are big. This is like, I'll see you next year hugs, right? I'm like, what are you doing, dude? This is all the rules we have set up for you in your life about getting into zones and boundaries. Then he goes to the dad. Do you want a hug? And the dad's like, yeah. And then big hugs. And I'm like, he comes up to me. It's like, do you know these people? And I'm looking at them, and they're like, it's fine. I'm like, I can tell that it's fine, but still, do you know each other? They're like, no. He's like, because Timo has had issues in the past, the whole autism thing.
Boundary thing just doesn't register in the same way.
So here's cool. He did not ask the daughter for a hug, right? And I didn't say anything about it. And it was cool because then we're leaving, right? And the wife stands up and says, Timo, one more hug. And he goes running back across the bar and gives her a big hug. And then out we went. And we came home. We're going home, and I was just laughing about it more than anything else. I was kind of doing the whole humor shtick thing. It's like, do you know these people? What's going on here? I was very clear that I was not upset with Timo at all. It's just like, this is okay. You know what? You do you. You are the kid that knows most of the town and in a popular way. I mean, it's serious. You can't walk into a restaurant in this town without them saying, Timo, how are you? It's like, how do you know these people?
It's cool, Dad. It's cool.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like totally cool. So anyhow, he did. So we get out of the bar and we're driving home, right? And he tells me, we're talking about the whole hugging and I'm being fun. And then he talks about the daughter. He's like, yeah, but I didn't ask her for a hug because she has boundaries. I was like, yes, good job, kid. Because he has had problems with that in the past, which is why the whole, why are you hugging people?
Right.
And to be honest, let's be honest, dude. I mean, you and I are what we are, kind of crusty, hardened sailors. So maybe hugs all around for us. But it would actually be better if more people were more like that than jerks.
Right.
There's another word that I wanted to use, but family. Although we are already PG.
You're PG, which is still family.
Yeah, family, sure.
I mean, there's plenty of Disney movies that were PG, and I'm referring to older movies before Disney was corrupted.
Yeah.
I don't
tell you
know.
what.
Actually, I don't think Disney was corrupted. I don't want to go down that road right now. But
Controversy. I'm not going to say controversy anymore. I'm just going to say pineapple. Pineapple pizza.
pineapple, pineapple
Pineapple.
pizza. Well, we'll see what happens with Disney now that there's a new old CEO back in.
Yeah, we'll
so-
see. Well, he definitely has a political bent.
He does. He's
But I think
he is who he is. I get that.
you know what's really strange though is the guy that he replaced. His problem is that he had no ideology. He was a money guy.
Yeah.
He's just like, we need to make money, and we're not making money, and they didn't like that, and he had problems, which I can appreciate. You know, I went into that one airframe shop trying to do a culture shift, and it was a freaking disaster. And I mean, I kind of had my Schadenfreude last laugh when both the LPO and the final CDI of the shop lost their quals as they tore the rudder apart on an airplane.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind
I
of
can do
like I did not, but the temptation to walk to them and say, I told you so. I told you to slow down. I told you to use the books. Been screaming that for 8 months, but no, you guys decide to be jerks, you know, and make my whole time here miserable, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
But, you know, I'm the bigger man. That's a lie. I totally wanted to say it. I just didn't get the opportunity.
Sometimes it's okay to be like, ha! I told you.
Yeah.
You know, sure, you want to be the bigger person and just like, well, I hope you learn something from that. But sometimes you have to be that person. Sometimes you just have to be one that says, I'm sorry, but that is an ugly baby. Not even apologize. Just say, that's an ugly baby.
Yep, that's an ugly baby. Once had a grandfather say that.
But
To us about his granddaughter's kid. He's like, I hate to say this, but your kids are so much better looking than my grandchild.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Wow.
we're in South Texas. a long ago.
Wow.
Made us feel good. It's like, how ugly is your grandchild?
You know, sometimes the ugly baby grows up to be beautiful, though.
Hopefully, I mean, it's a problem of living in the world. And especially when you're talking about physical beauty. It's like, man, that is, oh.
No boilovers. No boilovers.
Yeah, it's like being black or white or Hispanic or Asian or blue-eyed or red-haired, tall, short, not so much fat, because you can control fat to an extent. But any of those attributes, you can't do anything, you know? And so it's like, I mean, we can do some things, like if you got really crooked teeth, you know? It's like
Things you can do.
we can do braces and things like that, but you know what I'm saying though. It's just like you have to be empathetic to people who are born and are not beautiful by whatever standards we have, you know.
And that's all subjective, you know.
It is to an extent. I mean,
Sure, there are traits that are visually appealing. I get that, whether it's a male or a female, you know.
and there are characteristics that span the centuries and the millennia.
Sure.
You know, things like straight teeth, you know, eyes that are even in your head. Symmetry is a big one. If your face is symmetrical, that takes you a long ways right there.
Those are the people that become models and stuff. You
Yeah.
know?
And again, but this is something that and don't call someone out for being ugly because they can't do anything about it. You know, like I
But
said,
my point was, sometimes you just got to be the one that not calls them ugly, but just like stop sugarcoating it. I'm sorry.
right.
That's an ugly baby. I didn't. So that's. I mean, I feel like I had to clarify because I didn't mean like to be mean and be like, oh, that you're ugly. Just like because so many people like sugarcoat, so they're afraid to speak their mind.
No,
Because,
I absolutely agree.
That's what I meant. Like, kind of metaphorically, it's just like
right.
Sometimes you gotta be the one that speaks the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. But I just thought it was a good stepping off point for some interesting conversation, you know, instead of saying, dude, I got so drunk last night, which, by the way, I did not. So I can't even say that honestly.
I didn't even drink a beer last night, so
What's wrong with you? No wonder you're drinking your beer so fast today.
making up, I guess.
Yeah.
No, Friday was my drinking night. That was my put them down and like woo night, you know.
I think I have a knife in my pocket.
Yeah, you did find it. I saw the picture, so.
Right? I was sitting in my studio watching YouTube, and I'm just like, oh, hey,
There you
Nice.
are.
There you are. No, you turn up sooner or later.
Let's say if you didn't have a knife, I have plenty of scissors in the house. Scissors?
Do you not have a pocket knife?
No, I don't have one actually.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. I just didn't really grow up carrying
Not a pocket knife guy, huh?
I mean, I've had pocket knives in the past,
I'm
but
sure you had.
I just didn't. It just never like stuck with me as a pocket knife guy. Doesn't mean I can't start, you know.
No, obviously.
But the knives I do have are, you know, not
Yeah,
really
I've-
good
I've
for pocket
seen-
knives.
Senior knives, you can get arrested for some of them.
Yeah. So probably not something I want to carry. you
Yeah,
know?
especially considering you work on a military installation.
Yeah. There's been times where I've been at places and they had like their Swiss Army knife display case, and I looked at it for a minute. I was like, you know, maybe I should grab one of these little buggers, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
going to
but-
come in handy.
A pocket knife is. I'm sorry, dude.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Why is it that why is it that all the great content creation mishaps happen to you? If this was just me brewing, our channel would be more boring than you could get. The boilovers, the sacks falling into the hot water, all the bad stuff happens to you. I feel bad.
You don't feel bad because this is not detrimental.
Yeah, we haven't hurt anything, and you're gonna boil that, so you don't even have to worry about sanitization.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
All right, so we got the timer going,
You
and
got to boil. Yeah. I have had perfect temperature the whole time. I have about 2.5 minutes remaining on my steep. My grain tea will be good to go here shortly.
so I got my final ounce at the 10-minute mark. Good to go.
So you're probably, oh, you know what? Here
No.
soon, I'm going to need to
All right,
focus on sanitization and that kind of stuff.
all right. But now we watch all the temperatures and the boilings and all that.
You know,
stupid
it's not
stuff.
so bad right now because the other night was really cold. Tonight it's not cold though.
You're right. It's not too cold, so it shouldn't screw things up.
No.
But that's just something that we need to keep in mind in the future
Yeah.
forever.
Like the really cold nights, absolutely. We're gonna have to be like, all right, wait, before you open that door, let me crank up the heat a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and then sit there for like 5 or 10 minutes until everything's stabilized.
Right.
Dude, I felt so bad.
Then what happens is because like I did, I overcompensated, and then the heat cut up and was like, oh, too much, you know?
Vesuvius of beer, which
Oh.
you know, of the Vesuvii that could be going on. Vesuvii of beer is not a bad thing.
Yeah. But yeah, we should probably wrap up the broadcast here soonish,
All right.
just because I gotta get a bucket. I gotta get 2 buckets full of water. I gotta get Star Sand in there. Get our stuff going. That's gotta sanitize. Then it needs to come out.
So you don't have anything yet?
Things in that. There's stuff loaded in the bucket, but there's no water, nothing sanitizing.
You can use that water, of course.
Because it only takes a couple minutes. So
Right?
I'm just gonna fill up with the hose like I always do. But
But what I'm saying is, we could dump it out of my carboy, and then you wouldn't even have to use your Star Sand.
then you can dump it into the
bucket for the chiller.
chiller, yeah, which is in the house at the moment.
We forgot to open this door. It was getting a little thick in here. One of the shops, even though that was cracked, it was still a little thick. One of the shops.
Oh, we never cracked the door at all, did we?
Right.
Oh, schneezy.
It's amazing we didn't die of carbon monoxide poisoning. One of the shops I work in, the guy runs a propane heater and keeps all the doors closed.
Mm-hmm.
I walk into that place, I'm just like, oh, jeez, Bill. There's like about half the oxygen necessary to sustain life in this room.
All right. My steep is done.
Time is up.
Time is up. I'm gonna have to step into the house for a minute and get my cans.
Oh, are they still inside?
It's fine. All right, I'll be back.
Sounds good.
Hot cam, do your thing.
Are you not entertained? Give it just a little more oomph here.
He's looking at me.
Looking at me like I'm a fool. Like the fool that I am.
All right, let's put some Pilsen Light Malt Extract.
Pilsen Light. Let's go ahead and transfer back to normal cam.
Normal can. Yeah, we should shut that door.
What, are you cold?
No. I am not cold.
They're not cold either. However, we can close it down a
It's
little
breezy out there. And... All right, so your cans of extract were, the seals were nice and easy to peel. Mine are being stained. Arrogant. There you go. Ah, there it goes. Jeez, come on, man. Of course, it wants to rip.
No lie. There could be a better system. I really like it when the plastic liner of the foil separates from the foil, and so you get the foil off,
Oh,
and the
I
plastic
know.
liner is still on there. It's like, well, that doesn't do me any good. Here is your other one, sir.
You saw a gentleman.
Well, don't let it get out. I have a reputation to uphold. And I'm sticky. Got all the way through mine without being sticky. Get yours. Bam. And sticky. And sticky. I'm just picking these up so we can throw them away easier. That whole clean as you go concept, kind of foreign to me. But I think I can learn to accept it.
Yes, I'll accept it.
Just don't walk into my studio with the 12-pack of beer bottles getting around. I need a cleaning staff, that's what I need.
It costs money.
That is money I'm willing to spend.
Like, you know, I am okay with spending that kind of money.
Back in the That is just a little overly excited. That is a nice golden color, man. It's gonna look good.
I think so. I think so too. I think it's gonna be everything I dreamed of.
As you spill LME all over your thermometer.
That's right. Bill's character.
It makes it sticky, Steve.
Yeah, it's a side effect. A little side effecty.
Yeah. Like explosive diarrhea and brain damage for certain meds.
Not quite. I see you trying to hand it to me, but not quite ready for it yet.
How about now? How about now?
Soon.
Just gonna hold it here.
Nice.
Very. Ooh. What happened?
Because some wort just spilled over the side.
Steve, how many times are we gonna mop this garage floor, man? You're gonna have to get a new mop.
At least another 30, 40 times, probably. Thank you.
Between now and when we get to brew outside again.
Right? No. Okay. Now for some. Can I borrow the tin?
The kniff? Yes. Okay.
Kniff?
You know what we need?
The kniff?
Well, yeah, but we need to hurry up and get the album done.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then we don't have to turn off the broadcast. We just hit play on the album. The album can play while it videos. Steve! Beer in the kettle. Your gravity is going to be off. I know, you get excited about the whole adding of the malts. I do too. Because seriously, we could turn PopCam on, hit play on the album, there'd be sweet beer-related tunes playing, and PopCam would be looking at a couple of pots, and then it'd be like listening to the radio while watching two kettles.
Yeah. Do you think that would be interesting?
No. I don't. I really wouldn't watch it. I'm not gonna lie. DME can be a real pain.
Yeah.
Or
Or doing slow little bursts. Try to give it time to dissolve so it doesn't become all super frothy and foamy.
DME dumplings,
Right?
although they do dissolve completely.
DV dumplings. That's pretty funny.
It's kind of like when you add, if you're trying to thicken up a gravy or something, and if you use flour as your thickening agent, you throw it in too fast, you get these little blobs,
Yeah.
little dumplings.
Oh, let's get in there. Get in there. Get in there, lots of you.
Yeah, not anymore. They're going for boil. That's something you can actually see. You don't need a instrument.
Nice mix. Alright. Dumplings all dissolved. So what was it, Mark? Alright, let's get some flameage going. Oh, got So go whoop.
Like a freaking jet engine.
Alright. Yeah. Good to go there. Good there. Yeah. Not a boil over, so I'm okay.
It's not going to be a boil over because I'm going to watch it like a hawk.
And I'm not going to get up or anything either, so unless I absolutely have to, like a bathroom run or something.
We got to do all the sanitization stuff now.
Oh yeah, but I'm gonna do that now because it's just starting.
Right.
You can watch yours.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Thank you for being here. All of you no viewers. We really appreciate it. But that's okay because you know what? We have strong self-esteem because we've been around the world a couple times. And hey, it is what it is. Maybe you'll tune in next time. But we're going to shut this off because it is time to do stuff. Running around frantically like a chickens with our heads cut off, somehow managing to monitor beer so it doesn't boil all over Steve's garage and get things sanitized because unlike one of us, Steve takes sanitization seriously.
Always gonna hit you with that.
For the rest of your life, brother. All right, so as we always say, relax,
Don't worry.
have a home brew. Goodbye.
Bye. Okay. Time to get to work.
Wait, we're not off stream yet.
Oh,
okay,
no.
that was too late.